All right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Absolutely. At Colts Law, we talk Indianapolis Colts football.
We're going to stick to what we know, fundamentals and technique, 1% better every day.
Welcome to Colts Law. I'm Lawrence Owen. With me as usual is Loyalist, and today we're going to go over the 53-man roster. We will be recording here in just a moment also for my news break, basically talking about T.Y. Hilton and the news that's going on. Plus, we will be explaining a couple, or at least I will, because I think Loyalist is wondering a few things as well. So give me a moment. Please don't forget to smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. Tag that notification bell if you're not, if you haven't yet. I want to say what's up, Stansberry, Alpha Wolf, Truitt. Guys, appreciate each one of you in here. Whistler, Toxic is in here early. Good for you. Appreciate you. We're going to go ahead and start and get the news break thing out of the way so that we can actually, get into this 53-man roster, because that's a lot of names, dude. I'm looking at my list, and that's a lot of names. All right, here we go. Welcome to Colts Law. I'm Lawrence Owen. With me, as usual, is Loyalist here on News Break. And in case you didn't know or haven't seen the news, T.Y. Hilton has a disc in his neck that apparently needs some work done and will be out for an unspecified amount of time. Now, there is a lot to get over with this. First and foremost is the fact that if he's going to be out a few weeks, a lot of people want to know why. Why isn't he dropped on the IR? Why hasn't the announcement came out from the Colts and that kind of situation? Well, here's the simple fact of the matter. An Indianapolis Colt, any player in the NFL, cannot be put on IR before the season officially starts, before that 53-man roster is cut down. If they do, they are done for the season. They cannot come back. That is a kill switch right there, stating that once you're on the IR before the cuts, your season is over. Now, they're expecting this only to last for a few weeks. This is why he has not been put on IR yet, because if they put him on IR afterwards, then they only have, 3 weeks that they have to wait with him, plus more if they wish. But, beforehand, it's a long-term thing. Loyalist, my question to you straight up, right off the bat, how does this injury affect the Colts short term?
Well, the short term for me, is the fact that we lose that ability, or we lose a lot of the ability to lift the top off the defense. And that was something that I was really hoping to see with Carson out there and stuff. Now, I understand we still got Paris Campbell and stuff, but losing T.Y., that is, guys, when these teams see T.Y., they don't see a receiver that they can just, they're thinking, okay, how do we double cover this guy? There's a lot of game planning that goes against how to defend a T.Y. Hilton. So for me, I feel like this is a bigger hit than what some people, and no, it's not end of the season, or anything like that, but it's just, I think it limits our offense whenever we see how much the defense will be able to open up and change what they're doing against us, because they don't have to worry about putting two men on T.Y., throughout the game.
A lot of people, was wondering, are the Colts wide receiving depth deep enough? And honestly, I believe that even with the missing of T.Y., and I stated this earlier this season, that even if we lose a player or two to injury for a few weeks at a time, I honestly have full faith in this Colts wide receiving core. I think that it is very talented and very deep. However, it is also very young. And T.Y. is that veteran presence, that 30-year-old guy who's been there, done that, as you said, knows how to find seams, knows how to get open, has been working with Carson Wentz this past week or so, trying to gain that connection between them. in your opinion, do you think the Indianapolis Colts should go out and get somebody to replace Ty in the short term?
I do not. I mean, that's just simple because Ty, like you said, if we can get him back, neck injuries and when you start talking about discs in the neck and stuff like that, I get a little leery. I don't, I mean, seriously, I don't want to even sit there and guess, is it going to be 3 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks?
We all remember Peyton Manning.
Yeah. See, I wasn't going to go quite that far. All of a sudden, everybody's panicking. But no, like I said, with Ty, I just really believe that, yes, we do lose some of the leadership, but I feel like we have the guys like Zach Pascal, and guys that can really take that voice as far as the leadership. I feel like Zach Pascal and Paris Campbell, they have to really excel at what they offer the team, because that was Ty's two strong suits, his leadership and his speed. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, with losing the speed, like I said, and the downfield threat that we lose with Ty, I feel like that puts more pressure on Paris, but it's not that I don't think that they can handle it. And the nice thing about it is, we're all tossing around, do they keep 7 receivers? If, like you said at the very beginning, they put them on the roster and then IR them for the minimum of 3 week or whatever, then that opens up an avenue for this to still remain with just 6, receivers on the roster, and not. You still have to make tough choices, but not nearly as tough, as if you do factor Ty in.
Absolutely. Now, I have said that I still believe, like I said earlier, that the wide receivers for the Indianapolis Colts are fine. But don't forget, the Colts last year had multiple wide receiver injuries. Paris Campbell going down. T.Y. Hilton was out for a short time. Michael Pittman Jr. was out for a while. Yet still, the Colts found over 4,000 yards passing through the air, right? And that's without these young guys that are trying to come in and do something with themselves, like a Desmond Patman, like a Michael Strong, like, Paris if he's healthy, So, no, you're DeMichael Harris, he showed some stuff last year as well. So, no, I don't think that that's going to happen. I do believe that T.Y.'s leadership and locker room presence will still be felt, because like a Marlon Mack, I'm sure that once he's healthy enough to get out and go around, he'll still be there with the team, travel, go to meetings, things of that nature. He just seems like that kind of person, someone, he comes into training camp with a new backpack every year to let people know what his thoughts are for that training camp. So I want to thank you all for watching this video here on Newsbreak. Please don't forget to go check out my YouTube. It is right over here, the link. And don't forget to hit the like, hit the share button, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. That's Colts Loyalist. This is Colts Law, talking about T.Y. Hilton and the injury to his neck. Have a good one. And that's our recording. That was pretty simple and easy. Absolutely. So, like I said earlier, a lot of you guys, we're sitting here on the 53-man roster. Flat fact, we have to write out the guys that they want to keep on the 53 up front. Okay? There is no, some guys are going on, IR. Some guys are going to go on the PUP list. But you have to have that original 53 first, and that's what this is about. Okay? Now, unless they're going to go on IR for the entire season, like Sam Tebby.
Yeah.
Then that's something different. He'll go on IR. A lot of us didn't even know if he was even going to make the team anyhow. So it is what it is. I want to thank more people jumping in here in the stream today. Hoodrich Rose, appreciate you being in here. Brayton Nichols, thank you. Wyatt, who obviously, I saw your tweet and I made an adjustment, my guy. I got a trade in this. Absolutely. Fuzzy Whistler with a donation. Yeah, got a donation by Fuzzy right here by using the link at the top of the description of the video. $10. Thank you. Just appreciation donation. I appreciate everything you fellas do. Keep up that live content, and absolutely I will. I really like interacting with you guys. It's the fun way of doing it, Is it easier for us just to sit back and record and then upload it? Yeah, absolutely. You know, we're not spending an hour or two sitting here, but I don't care. You know, this is what's great. Sitting here hanging out, talking with you guys. Guess what? I see another $5 super chat from YouTube by TJ. TJ Joe, what up? Give it a moment because there's a delay when it comes to YouTube super chats, but it'll pop up over there by Loyalist here in just a second. A lot of questions in the live chat, and I'm definitely going to say something about that. Wyatt says, is Andre Dillard still available, assuming he ever was? How about making a trade with Baltimore, considering what happened with J.K. Dobbins and the fact that he's done? You know, like I said, I do have a trade in mind, but it's not with the Ravens. All right, TJ, man, I really appreciate the $5. You didn't happen to put in anything in with that, did you? Did you say anything? No, I don't see a question or a comment, TJ. Why don't you go ahead and say something in the chat or something of that nature? Because yeah, I need to check that out. Let me roll down here. If you have a question or a comment, please go ahead and say something. Wentz season's in here. Just plain folks. What's up? Ashley Hall. Holy cow, we got some people that I don't see in here very often, you know. That is awesome. DeMarco Sanderson. Brandon Woods in here. Yes. Appreciate each and every one of you. So, Hoodrich Rose said that his bold prediction is that Paris Campbell will have 1,000 yards receiving this year. I already pulled that off back before training camp started. I said if he stayed healthy, Paris Campbell would lead the Colts in receiving yards. Not necessarily targets, not necessarily touchdowns, you know, but you know, or catches, but yards. You know, that's the big number right there. And then of course, you know, with TY out, guys that need to step up, right? I mean, you said so, you know, big time. I mean, Mike Strawn will probably get more opportunities, you know. So it is what it is. So let's get into our breakdown on guys that will make the 53, because remember, like I said, we can't go by who's going to be on IR, because unless they're done for the season, and if they're done for the season, then I'm not putting them on here anyhow. Offensively, dude, what's your 53-man roster look like?
All right, what I imagine a lot of it is, you know, you've got Fisher and the starting five. We got Fisher with Q and Braden and, you know, Ryan Kelly and Glowinski. Then I got, right now, here's the question for me is that quarterback, okay? I've got, you know, Carson Wentz, and then I've got Jacob Eason. But now I'm wondering, is Hundley a piece that they want? Do they want to look? Is there somebody through the cut downs that might offer something? Or, you know, do we sit there and does Ellinger actually make the roster? You know, and because right now I feel like with him being injured, that I would possibly try to even more so slip him onto the practice squad early on, because, you know, like I said, I understand that somebody may dig him up, but to dig him up off the practice squad, put him on their 53, knowing that he won't be able to play right away and stuff, I feel like that gives us a little bit of protection. I know, not guaranteed. So for me, like I said, I would either go with Hundley or find a third quarterback from outside after cut downs. What else we got? We got Hilton. You know, the four receivers we were talking about with Hilton and Pascal and Paris Campbell, and then we've got after those four, I had Strawn and Doolin. I just couldn't give up the gunner, because I mean, I know that we've seen, you know, Patman out there and Strawn out there, but neither of them have looked really well, really comfortable with the gunner spots and stuff, you know. So I just wasn't ready to give up on that aspect of the team. And then yeah, I've got the three. You know, I've got Mo Alley, Cox, Doyle, and Granson, you know, for the tight ends. And then I got the four running backs. I've got Taylor, Mack, Hines, and Wilkins. So not a whole lot of surprises there. Like I said, if Fisher was to leave, I would make room for Fries. But outside of that, I've got Penter, Reed, and Will Holden also making the 53
Okay.
on the offensive side.
Okay. Interesting. I thought about making a trade with Wilkins to Buffalo, but then I started looking at Buffalo, and they've picked up some running backs. So
Yeah.
I don't think that they're going to go that route. But my offense, I just have 2 quarterbacks on the starting roster, Eason and Wentz. I do believe that Ellinger will go to the practice squad. And I don't think that we'll need to worry about that other guy. I think that we could probably go out and grab Hundley if we needed him later on. I don't think he's going to be picked up by another team. Okay? He didn't really show that. I mean, he showed his mobility, but his accuracy was not the best as a quarterback. Okay? I believe that Wentz has been, progressing towards starting week 1, so I feel comfortable having him and Eason as our 2 quarterbacks, and then slipping Ellinger onto the practice squad.
Okay, real quick,
mm-hmm.
do you pick up another veteran quarterback and place him on? I mean, because you're literally 1 COVID test away from all of a sudden now you're down to 1 quarterback. So you know what I'm saying? Do you have somebody as a 4th quarterback or a 2nd spot on the practice squad?
Maybe,
so it's quicker access.
I don't have it right now. I don't really have my practice squad list because there's 16 freaking players. All right.
Yeah.
And we'll be here for a month trying to figure that out, and they'll already have it all figured up. But I get what you're saying. The tight end position, it's set in my opinion. Doyle, Allie Cox, Granson. I think even with the drops at Granson, I think that he's shown that last preseason game that he has. After that first miscue, he showed a little bit more, and I'm looking forward to see what he provides this year.
Yeah, he showed a lot of good at camp too.
Yeah, definitely. At wide receiver, there's not a lot of question marks here, really. I see Hilton making the 53. I get he might go to IR, but I still got to put him on the 53 original. Pittman, definitely. Campbell, Pascal, Strawn, Patman, right? Those are your 6. Could there be
you got Patman?
Yes. I got Desmond Patman.
Okay, see, and I went with Doolin there.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the thing. Now, I am missing 1 player off of here because Ellinger's going to practice squad. Do I go with getting that extra 7th wide receiver, or do I go and pick up a 6th cornerback? I haven't figured that out yet, but I'll let you know, and I think I'm going cornerback. Now, starting left tackle or starting offensive line, as we know, Nelson, Kelly, Glowinski, Smith, right? I mean, yeah. Backups. I got Davenport, Reed, Penter, Holden. That's about all you can go there, right? I mean, really, what we have. Running backs, Taylor, Mack, Hines, Wilkins. That's a gimme. That's a gimme. Now, that's my offense. Not a lot of big changes other than we switched out the wide receiver thing, right? Mm-hmm. Special teams. I'm taking over. Blankenship, Sanchez, Luke Rhodes. I think those might be givens. What do you think?
Yeah.
And they count on the 53-man roster. So, So you figure 3 for special teams and then estimated about 25 and 25, right? 25 for offense, 25 for defense.
I'd like to ask you one question before we get too deep into the defensive side. Okay, you put Hilton on, say that it looks like he needs to go on IR. All right. Do you bring up, in your case, Doolin because you left him off, or would you bring up like a DeMichael Harris or somebody with a different skill set? You see what I'm saying? Something to try to find some.
I have someone not making the roster that a lot of people think should, and he might now because of that.
Okay.
I'll get to that in a moment, but let's go to your defense real quick.
All right. Let's see here. Well, I got Buckner, Stewart, Quiddy Pay, and Taekwon Lewis is basically my starting. Then I got with Banagoo, Al-Qadim Muhammad, Isaac Rochelle, Toure, and the one that is Stallworth. And I'm just, for me, Stallworth with what we saw from him last year, along with what we saw in camp and stuff, is sort of what elevated him, because I was on the fence there on the D line.
It's tough.
Yeah. The defense wasn't nearly as as cut and dry, because I was trying to find ways to do I keep 6 linebackers, 5 linebackers, like you said. Same with the corners. But as far as linebackers, I went with Leonard, Okereke, went with Speed, Franklin, Glasgow, like we said, from for special teams, benefits and stuff. And then I also went with Adams. So, I've got Adams. For me, I want to have him there because he's really good in the run, and I feel like that if we falter in the run defense, it's going to be nice to have a piece like him, a thumper like him, that comes in and sort of offers a little bit of what we lost, I feel like, with losing AWOL. And then the cornerbacks, I went with Rhodes, Moore, Yasin, Carey. I went with Rogers, and I went with Shasheri as my Sachere. See, I knew it. Yeah, Sachere. I went with Sachere as my. I went with 6 cornerbacks because I liked what I saw from Sachere, not only just in special teams, but just the way he produced and stuff. And then I went with Willis, Blackman, Odom, and the rookie Davis as my safeties.
Okay, so there's a question in here. John Davis asked about Dio Odeingbo, and he's on the PUP list. And he's been put on the PUP list before the season started, which means he's done for 6 weeks, but he's not counting towards the 53. So that's your answer, okay? That's what PUP list does. It does not count towards the 53-man roster. It's good to know that you didn't drop him on there, Loyalist, in case you didn't know that. No. I think I told you that before, though.
Yeah, we discussed that, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so for me, Pay, Defu. It's Defu, guys. I got Pay, DeForest Buckner, Stewart, Lewis. We got the same 4 starters.
Yeah.
Banagoo, Rochelle, Toure, Stallworth, Williams.
Yeah, get Williams on.
I went Williams.
Okay.
But, hold on. I have a trade. Low guy on a totem pole for a low guy on a totem pole. Need for need. We have him for 1 year. The Green Bay Packers need pass rush bad. Al-Qadim Muhammad can provide that. Give him a little bit of help. They have a 6th round pick who did somewhat okay during training camp. Cole Van Lanen, rookie out of Wisconsin. I think that would be a great trade. It'd be someone that, would give us a little bit of. He is an official left tackle. He's good at pass protection, not very good at power run blocking. But that's not what we need over there at left tackle. We need pass protection. So I thought that the Muhammad for Cole Van Lanen was a good trade and fills a spot for both teams. Now, granted, I think Muhammad would excel over in Green Bay. Absolutely. But he would be not a defensive end. He would end up being the pass rush outside linebacker. He would be a stand-up guy. And, the Colts, you have used him multiple times, stepping back and using his quickness and speed to run zone defenses. So I think that would work out very, very well. What are your thoughts on that trade? You probably don't know who Van Lanen is.
You're right. And that's what I was like, don't ask me.
I get you probably don't know, but.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, man, if it's a left tackle, I mean, we were pretty much, Tevy was on the fencing because just how bad the need was to have that 3rd tackle. with Fisher and his status being up in there. So yeah, I'll take it, man. It's more than a heartbeat. So, and like you said, with this staff, and if he's a rookie and stuff, then I'd love to. I trust our staff to get this kid up and running, and who knows, maybe mold into something. Like you said, it's better than, because I feel like Al-Qadim has sort of, I don't think he's reached his ceiling, but I do think that he has sort of leveled out as far as what he would mean to us, and just the unknown and the like I said, in a position of need. I love it.
Well, yeah, it is a position of need, and I mean, there might be like an additional, there might be a 7th round pick drafted in there for us, to go, because he is a rookie. So, lower pay scale, we may have to drop a 7th round pick with Al-Qadim Muhammad, but Muhammad can rush the passer. He is good at that. He has issues in other things. We all know this. But he was outperformed by a lot of people this year in training camp and in the preseason. So I like this trade in that aspect. All right. Linebackers. I have Franklin taking the Sam, then Leonard and Okereke. But I only have 2 more linebackers making it. Yeah. Speed and Glasgow. Yeah. I don't have Adams making the team.
Yes, and he was one that I was like, I was looking at that other receiver spot. I was looking at, like you said, another safety. I mean, there was,
The only way Adams makes the team, and that's the special teams thing, but at the same time, we have other guys that have shown this preseason and during training camp that they're doing really good at that. And Adams just did not look good in the preseason games when he played. He had 2 or 3 okay plays, and then a couple of them where he was beat bad. So that makes me a little bit worried on him. Cornerbacks. Rhodes, Carey, Moore. Rogers. Yasin. That's it. But I left Ellinger off, which means I have 1 spot left on my roster outside of that might allow Tell to slip in. Tell did not perform well. No. At all. But he's only played 1 season. But this is his 3rd year, but only played 1 season. Yeah. So leaving Ellinger off will allow Tell to come back. He could have went to the practice squad, but I think I want him there just to see if he could develop a little bit quick, because he looked better as a rookie than what he did this past offseason. So I'm keeping Tell. I don't want him to be a starter, but it's someone that I think could sit back and learn, especially from guys like Rhodes. Safeties is where I went. Yeah. Blackman, Willis, obvious. Odom, no-brainer, because of his special teams abilities. Sachare, because let's face it, he's the best-looking guy that we've seen in all of training camp, when it comes to just explosion and splash plays and hits. And then I agree with you. The rookie Sean Davis makes it as well, because his downhill hitting ability, again, we were talking earlier about Adams, and I left him off. I think Davis can fill that spot on special teams. He showed a little bit in preseason. I think he could take Adams' spot.
Okay. So you just moved Sachare, even though he's on the roster as a cornerback, you just moved him down as safety. Okay.
He played a lot of free safety.
Yeah, and I know that. And I, like I said, but I was just, when you went to the corners and you didn't say him, I was like, oh, what's this kid got to do? But all right.
Yeah. I like him more at safety. Mm-hmm. It's more of a read-react type situation at free safety. I think that he'll do well there, and I think that would be a better position than cornerback for him.
I agree, because he's so good at run support also from that safety position. Mm-hmm. Not to mention what he provided during the special teams and stuff. So, yeah, at first I didn't hear him say Sasha. What's he doing?
Absolutely. And congratulations to Sasha for making my
Yeah.
team, because dude has bounced around the NFL from practice squad to practice squad since 2018 and just showed it up. Just showed up. Yes, true. We both have rookie Sean Davis on the team. Barely, but yes. He did make a really bad, poor attempt at a tackle, though. He made some good tackles in that last preseason game, but one of them he whiffed terribly. It was bad, but he's a rookie, so give him
And
a
he
pass.
wasn't the only one.
Right? I mean, good Lord, there was a lot of missed tackles that last game. Oh,
Yeah.
Wow. DeMarcos Anderson, you're not the only one that has that thought process about Yasin. Yasin did not look his best this last preseason game, but he looked darn good against the Vikings. He looked darn good against the Panthers, and he's looked darn good during training camp. Okay? I'm telling you, he has. He just had a bad showing, and everybody has a bad showing once in a while.
And some of that, I honestly believe that, Rock and the communication and stuff, which I know they kept it real vanilla during the game and stuff, but I think that there was a couple instances where Rock was expecting a little bit of a different support or something than what he was getting there too. So, that last game and he's not got a lot of run with these guys and stuff. I think that had something to do with it as well.
Brandon's talking about Will Fries. I think he can slip onto the practice squad personally. That's why he didn't make my team. He was a late round pick, did not show very well in preseason. I think that Fries is a guy who still has a lot to learn. All right. And he's got to get his strength up. That's another issue. He gets bullied a little bit.
For me, and that's, how you mentioned you want to tell to sort of stay plugged into the 53 so he got more rep. For me, that's where I am with Fries. Like if we can put Fisher on the IR, I think Fries is my guy that I fill that void with. And you said,
and it definitely could. But,
yeah.
That is a definite possibility where Fries makes the 53 long term, or at least during this period once. But honestly, I don't know. I don't think Fisher goes to IR.
See, and I didn't at first, but the more I sit here and I think about this, all the COVID protocol and the fact that he did test positive, and that's putting him behind. And I know that they said that he's in a place as far as where he can get a lot of his rehab and stuff done, even though he's on the COVID list. But still, he's not getting that communication. I mean, heck, part of the way that Quentin got put in the protocol himself was probably because of all the dialogue back and forth that him and Fisher, and that connection and that rapport that they were working on, So, like I said, you miss out on those opportunities, and I know you get the game reps and stuff through, the mental reps through game film and stuff, but I still feel like has to be something. So if you can take advantage, if it's a 2-week thing, give them that third week just for more, more whatever communication, more time to figure it out. You know what I mean? I honestly see that might be the route that they go.
I see a couple people in here talking a little bit about Andrew Brown and guys like Turner to Hayward and DeMarco and a few others. Now, Brown had some splash plays on defense a couple times, but if you go back and watch the games, he was pushed around a lot, pushed out of position. There was a lot of times those runs against our defense happened because Brown got pushed right out of his 3-tech position, okay? And you can't have that at a tackle. You cannot have that. There were a few times where Brown was able to beat the guy that was blocking him off, and that's where he made, good big-time tackles. But the reason I have Stallworth over him is because I feel like Stallworth is not going to give you that pressure up the middle. He's not going to be that guy who's going to beat his block and get up the middle and create havoc in the backfield. but he's not getting moved off this spot either. That is something that I have noticed. When he was in, he kept his spot, you know, and Williams was the same way. Williams not only, I think I liked what Williams showed at the nose tackle more than what I liked it from Brown at the 3-tech.
And then what about Antoine Woods? You know, I mean, he's got.
I didn't like what I saw from Woods. And you know what's funny?
But I felt like he outperformed Brown.
Yeah, at times. But again, you know, he also, you know, he's got some power. I'm not going to deny he has power. But like I said when we first signed him, when I looked at his film, and I was like, I don't like this dude for the Colts. I get why we signed him as a depth piece, but his technique is awful. I mean, awful. He does not know how to do hand placement. He gets pushed off. He doesn't see when a second blind side, when another blocker's coming on him. If he's 1-on-1 and he gets the first initial press, he generally wins that. Outside of that, he doesn't. And that was a problem that I was seeing. Curtis Bolton was interesting. The interception guy, right? Now, I'm going to tell you something. There's been many a players who's had interceptions, tackles for losses, stuff like that, and not make the team. You know, because, and this is the truth of the matter, he was in the right place at the right time.
Yep.
He made the play. Good for him. Maybe another team will want him. But that's not something he created on his own. Okay?
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't think that he's going to be able to make the team at all. And you got to remember, our depth is strong. And I don't think Bolton will be able to overcome the rest of the depth, man. Yeah.
And for me, I honestly believe that the few pieces that I had question marks on, I just, you know, I feel like, you know, what is their special teams and do, you know, and now it's not as much as can they play special teams, but is more of a what quality is their special teams now that was even, you know, and that's how Adams made it for me. You know, it was just like I said I felt like his quality and just experience outweighed, you know, what little, you know.
Toxic Tommy says, would you guys like to be on the Lions staff after Teray embarrassed their stud Penny? He's been embarrassed a lot. Not trying to take anything away from what Kimoko Teray did that game. But Sewell has not played up to expectations all preseason. Okay, go check out the Lions den, okay? Like they're, you know, people talking, you know, any kind of chat or anything like that. And Sewell has not played well at all. So, you know, but then again, Teray has. So, you know, in my opinion, good for Teray doing what I think he should have done, you know, and that's beat Penny. So, Lawrence, how do you watch games? Do you stick your eyes on a player position every other play? You seem to notice a lot of stuff without film. Most people just pay attention to the ball. Alpha, that's a great question. I do not always pay attention to the ball. Now, a lot of times you do. When you're watching the game, you're trying to enjoy it, you pay attention to the ball. But you know, after the plays happen and they do the replays, my eyes are not on where the ball is. I already seen that. I'm looking at who is helping make that play happen. That's what I'm looking at, you know, because my brain is always thinking in that general direction, you know. It's not always the guy with the ball or the guy making the tackle on the ball or whatever, making the play on the ball that is making that play happen. A lot of times it's, you know, how's this blocker doing? Who's the guy over here that's providing support? Things of that nature. So, thank you for the question, and that's my answer. So, but yeah, am I weird that I do that?
No, I mean, well, I don't know. I've been told numerous times I'm weird, but like you said, I mean, you like for if a sack occurs, a lot of times it's not because of the guy that got the sack. It's the double team that was required to cover DeForest Buckner or Robert Mathis. Back in the day. I mean, a lot of the play is generally, like you said, the better parts of it is what you see, the peripheral stuff that you see that allowed that person to excel at that
Mm-hmm.
spot. I mean, Darius Leonard, I love Darius Leonard to death, but I mean, look how much you know more active and better that he got, whenever he had a nice assortment of pieces to help him and stuff.
Absolutely. Guys, I would like you guys to help me out here. A lot of links in the channel, in the description. Obviously, now I'm not asking for your money. Well, I am asking for your money, but I'm not, trying to push you into that general direction. What I'm saying is, please don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe. If you're not subscribed, tag that notification bell. Appreciate every bit of support you guys have. I have 17 people in my Patreon now that are Patreon supporters. If you want to support me on Patreon and not miss anything that I or Loyalist upload, make sure you use the link in the description down here to join Patreon, which is only $5 a month, man. $5 a month. That's a cup of coffee. Maybe, depending. There's some cups of coffee I think are more expensive than $5. Don't forget that there's also, I work for Newsbreak. I upload videos of Newsbreak daily. Go check me out. Use the link in the description. In doing so, you get a free Newsbreak app, which gets you local information for your area. All the news, local. Plus, you can give me a follow. And if you use that link and follow me, it supports myself and Loyalists directly, financially. This video is sponsored by Newsbreak. Newsbreak is an app used over 1.5 billion times a month by people just like you to get local news via articles or videos by those who are focused on that specific area. People like myself. Just use the link in the description of this video to download it. Then search a city, state, or someone specific, like myself, Colts Law. Then make sure to follow them so you'll get all the news fresh as it comes out. And I don't always drop this, but as you can see, we got some merchandise that's sitting here on the channel, especially the hats. I got shirts. I got everything under the sun, plus a bunch of stuff that's not on this video. But Colts Law merchandise, man, that's awesome. Good quality. Make sure to check out the Colts Law merch shop. The link is in the description of this video. There are a ton of high quality, reasonably priced items there that you can choose from. And all you got to do is just click one button and you can go and check out all these great merchandise items. Now, you saw the phones in there, those phone cases. If your phone case is not shown, send me an email. Send me a message somewhere. Hit me up on Twitter, whatnot. Say what style of phone you have exactly. And I can put that up there on there. It's just there's so many different styles of phone. There's dozens. I am not putting that many on there and blocking up my merch shop, okay? Because you'd be spending like 45 minutes trying to scroll through the freaking phone cases. But if there's
The ad
one
would be ridiculous long.
Oh my goodness, right? But yeah, go. If there's a phone case there that you don't see, let me know. I'll drop it on there. There's a bunch of other stuff on there as well. I haven't done everything in the merch shop. What I've got listed is, I think, maybe a tenth of what of the stuff that I could actually put on the merch shop. But some of it is like underwear. And I don't think anyone wants to wear Colts Law underwear. I'm just saying. Or a bathing suit, you know? Who's going to wear a bathing suit that says Colts Law? Are you going to wear a two-piece Loyalist out there?
No, sir.
No, sir. I wouldn't either. So, I mean, and as much as I appreciate all the women who support my channel and stuff of that nature, unless you ask me to put it on there, it's not going. Okay. But if there's an object that you think, you know what, I wouldn't mind having this, but I don't see it on the list. Send me a message somewhere, anywhere that you can get a hold of me. I generally look at all my messages and comments, whether it's on YouTube, Twitter, direct messages from Patreon, whatnot. And if there's something that's not there that you want to go check out or thinking about buying, let me know and I'll drop it on. Patreon idea: Loyalist goes to the beach. Wow.
You've got a horrible picture in everybody's mind now.
What up, Chris? Appreciate you being in here. Chris says, "Hey, I might rock that 2-piece." You go. You go. There is a mug. Yes, Truett. I have a couple mugs, actually, a couple cups, and a tumbler. So, All right. Heck, man, we're 46 minutes in. I thought I did a pretty good job with my 53 man. I know some of you are not agreeing with every little thing, but for the most part, it is what it is.
Yeah.
That there's an argument that can be made for a lot of players, right? But I mean, there's an argument for Black. There's an argument for Vaughns, but I think they're more practice squad guys right now. With the depth. Now, if T.Y. Hilton goes to IR, there might be an open spot. DeMichael or someone like that might make the team then.
Do we have anybody that that speed style type of receiver? I mean, obviously Paris, but he's going to make the roster already.
DeMichael's quick.
See, and that's what I was thinking. I thought, that's where I was wondering, would you replace T.Y. with a DeMichael Harris and try to, plug him in over there? With the understanding that they're not going to give him nearly the respect that they would T.Y. But still, if he burns them deep on the field or whatever, all of a sudden that respect factor grows up immensely.
Fuzzy Whistler says, I would donate big money to see Loyalist in a 2-piece.
Well, there's certain things that,
it's best.
Money is good, but you know what? Pride is better.
Right. I'm going to have to agree. Unless it's like $1 million. If you're going to donate that kind of money, dude, I will wear a 2-piece for $1 million. All right.
Well, I will not. Like I said, I don't know if you guys ever seen that, what is that, Varsity Blues, but I would need $10 million.
Oh, I asked this question earlier. Alpha says, who would be a slot receiver along with Hines, depending upon the package? Oh, Paris is a nasty slot receiver. DeMichael, I think, could be a really good slot receiver. He's kind of like a gadget type guy as well. I know Hines hates being called a gadget guy, but he is. I understand he's a football player, but he's the guy that you're going to run to when you need a gadget play.
He's dynamic. That's what I've switched to. Yeah. It's not a gadget. It's dynamic.
Right. Pascal is a guy who's an all-around kind of guy. He's a big, strong receiver. Not overly fast. Not overly big. He's like 6'3", okay? But he's strong. He's got some quickness. He's got great route running. When it comes to slots, I think he'd be good at doing a slot because of his route running ability. But generally, you want a smaller guy who can get lost in the traffic underneath. Now, Paris, he's 6 foot. He's not necessarily small, but he's not big either. He's your average height for an NFL wide receiver. So, yes, Chris, I think Pascal can play just about any position. I really do. And that's what makes Pascal so valuable, right? He can do anything you ask him to do. Is he going to excel at it and be like the best in the NFL at doing that? Probably not. But he's going to be a guy who's going to get the job done, and that's all you can ask for. Yes, JDW, being 6 foot and having Paris's speed is very, very nice. Yeah. That's why I say he's almost impossible to cover because the guys who are quick enough to cover him, he's going to tower over, and that's what it is. And guys, a bigger guy, bigger corner, just ain't got the speed to keep up with him. They need help. So, yeah.
Have you taken the time to look, on the wires and stuff? Is there any, if we find out that this TY situation turns out to be worse, is there any quality veteran receivers that, you could foresee that's worth, taking on?
I don't know. Let's go look at the free agencies. Oh, I just clicked the wrong button. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I know. I just showed you my quick hits on Google Chrome. Yes, I use Google Chrome. Okay, NFL free agent wide receivers. On Spot Track right now. Oh, I'm looking. Aha! There we go. Well, there's still Fitzgerald out there. He's 38 years old. Golden Tate would be a guy.
Okay.
Golden Tate's a guy I think could fill a TY role. He's kind of built very similar, plays very similar. He's 33. But this is a situation where TY would have to be gone for more than half the season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 7-8 weeks at least. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's a situation that I'd be a little worried on. But it is what it is. There's always Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon's still out there. I know a lot of you have, that whole, he's got the marijuana problem, but isn't the NFL really laxed on that now?
Yeah, but the state of Indiana isn't.
No, the state of Indiana isn't. The state of Indiana is not lax on that at all.
It just live up north and in Michigan
drive
and
every day.
down.
That's a heck of a drive, man. He can go to Illinois. I think Illinois still, Illinois got it. So, that's a little bit closer,
There you go.
But, yeah. That's what we're looking at. So, JDW said Fitz and Golden Tate. And I was like, yeah. Naming off guys like me, marijuana problem. I'm not saying it's a problem. It's a problem for NFL teams and depending upon where you live. Okay?
Yeah.
What you do with your own time, as long as you're not murdering someone or, robbing them with gunpoint or something, your extracurricular activities is your extracurricular activities. I don't care.
Yeah, like you say, as long as if your personal activities stay personal, when it starts affecting the masses, like me wearing a two-piece, then we have to outlaw that stuff.
Yeah. But Tate would be a guy I think could help with that veteran leadership and that mentality of, that dog mentality. Golden Tate has a dog mentality.
Yeah.
Very much like T.Y. Hilton has.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm really concerned that, without TY, that we don't have that guy that, is going to draw that guarantee. Because you just know, like I said, with TY, they're throwing extra attention to him every game. He may not make 2 catches that game, but you know what? He may have affected 8 or 9 other receptions for other receivers.
Mm-hmm. Now, I was not a guy who was big on grabbing Golden Tate earlier this offseason when that came up. Well, that was because we already had T.Y. Hilton. And I'm like,
exactly.
Why? You're just going out and getting a T.Y. Hilton 2.0. What are we? Ryan Grigson? Back in that draft where we grab Philip Dorsett? No. I like the fact that the Colts are very not only are we deep, not only do we have young talent across the board on the offense, but it's so varied in the type of talent that we have, right? I mean, you have guys that can specifically do anything you need someone to do. You know, you have a guy who could take a top off. You have a guy that you could throw the 50-50 ball to. You have a guy who can run routes and get open in that situation. You know, you got guys who is your big end zone, throw the ball up, pray, you know, kind of guy. So that's how I feel about it, man. JDW says Philip Dorsett's on the darn Jags now. You know what? Dorsett has actually played decent, and that offense over on the Jags is actually pretty darn good. So, yeah. Golden Tate's 33 years old, Alpha. Good question. I thought I said that earlier, but maybe I didn't. Man, we're already an hour into this stream. Wow. Holy crap.
It's amazing. The Colts just keep us with plenty of content to discuss.
I don't think Pittman struggled in camp. He didn't. There were days where Pittman had a drop or two, you know, but there were also days where he dominated the guys that, you know, he was up against. It was kind of up and down, learning experience, you know. I mean, this is only a second year. This is the second and third year are the years generally wide receivers break out, you know. They're also the years that running backs generally break out. So keep an eye. I'm not trying to say that they're going to, but keep an eye.
Yeah. And I think Pittman, like you said, I feel like this year, I mean, the league got a taste of Pittman, but I feel like he was enough under the radar that, you know, people weren't studying him and paying attention and adjusting to him. And the thing is even when they do, he's got, you know, so many different little things that he's elevated his game with, especially this year. His route running this year was so much better than what I was recollecting it being, you know, last year during the games and stuff. And yeah, I mean, he's beating the Kenny Moores. He's beating the Xavier Rhodes. I mean, he is benefiting from that defensive talent that he's been practicing against. I agree completely.
Yeah, he has been a little inconsistent, but every wide receiver has been inconsistent. You're not going to win every day, you know, just like cornerbacks. You're not going to win every day. You know, Kenny Moore got beat multiple times in training camp. Xavier Rhodes got beat multiple times in training camp. You know, it happens. You can't win every down. That's just, it doesn't happen. But one thing Pittman has over Dante Moncrief, which is what they're saying, is his physicality. He is much more physical than what Dante Moncrief ever was.
Oh, and he was a much better receiver. I mean, as far as just holding on to the ball. I mean, wow. No, because, I mean, Moncrief, that was something that drove me nuts. It's like every time he had a chance to excel or, you know, I mean, he just always missed the catch or. Yeah.
All right, guys, we've been here an hour. We got 32 people in here. I think we're about done. Wyatt, let's you never be. Oh yeah, Chris says that you'll never be perfect playing against professionals. No, because they're there for a reason, right? Wyatt does drop something in here. Says that T.Y. absence will force Wentz to establish a rapport with other wide receivers the way Eason has done as well. He was establishing with guys earlier. You know, Wentz wasn't just establishing with T.Y. He was establishing with guys like Pittman and Campbell, right? Earlier, before the preseason even started, before training camp even started. T.Y. never showed up to those throw rounds. He, you know, right. I'm sure he was invited, but he was down in Florida, you know, training on his own, the way Reggie Wayne used to do, you know. So, but I think we're done here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please don't forget to smash that like button on your way out. Please, it would do us a huge favor, okay? And don't forget that underneath Loyalist right over there, there's a share button. You can always click that and share this stream with your favorite social media, whether it be Twitter, Facebook, doesn't matter. I don't care. Reddit, the Colts forums, I don't care. But I appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. That's Colts Loyalist. Don't forget to join me tomorrow. Hopefully. I don't know if it'll be live or not. I still have to talk to DeQuell about that. I don't know if it'll be Monday or Thursday that's live. We're going to discuss that later this evening. But our new podcast will be up tomorrow. So, have a good one.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.